going to go into how to build a solid financial foundation. Notice the shape. Notice the pyramid, right? We're talking about solid foundation with regeneration, okay? So the bottom, protection. What are we protecting? We're protecting our life. We're protecting our money from being taxed. We're protecting our money from inflation, from hospitalizations, from nursing home care. Nursing home care can be $10,000 a month, okay? So all of these things can just eat at our money without protection, okay? What do I mean? What kind of policy can provide you with some sort of protection? You have long-term care, and you have the IUL, the Index Universal Life Insurance. So what is long-term care? Long-term care is a type of policy that, that basically provides you with the resources, the financial resources you need if you need to go in a nursing home, if you need a nurse to come to you. And it kicks in when you have six of these, six of particular ailments. So I'm gonna actually pull that up because that's in another document and I wanna make sure you get the right information. Give me a second. Any questions? Anybody wants to put in the chat? How y'all feeling? You feeling good? Y'all still with me? Put some waves in the chat if you're still with me. Okay, good. Okay. Financial literacy. Let me find this folder real quick. Financial education, long-term care. Okay. So long-term care kicks in when you have the loss of 2 or more of the following daily activities. There's 6. So continence, being able to hold your bowel movements and urine and without, using the bathroom on yourself. Transferring, moving from one place to another. So getting yourself from your room to the bathroom to the kitchen. Toileting, actually using the bathroom. Bathing, dressing, and eating. If you lose the ability to do 2 of these things, long-term care can kick in immediately. Another one is any memory loss issue, including dementia and Alzheimer's, where you need 24/7 supervision, long-term care kicks in, okay? Health insurance does not cover the care for when these things happen. So if you need assistance with any of those 6 things, you need long-term care. So health insurance covers those for, maybe like 30 days. Sometimes it depends on your health insurance. But usually you have to be in a hospital or a rehab center. So say you need help bathing and you need help with transferring, but you want to stay in your own home. So that means you need 1 or 2 nurses to help you to come to your home and do that care. That can be up to, $10,000, $16,000 a month, $7,000. It's expensive for that to happen, but it's definitely ideal. And so if you have long-term care, that puts you in the position to actually, be able to access that. If you do not have long-term care and you need 6 of these things and you have to go in a nursing home, then you basically become a ward of the state. So they pay for everything, but they liquidate all of your assets to pay for the care. And if you have money left over, then they'll give you an allowance for like a phone or some extra food or whatnot. But even then, you're usually sharing a room with somebody, or and you often don't get to keep the same room, so they move you around. So I'll give you an example. My aunt, her health, her mental faculties declined sharply because she was stressed out for a long amount of time. And so she actually had, I don't even think there was time for her to even be diagnosed, but she had memory loss, severe memory loss, to where she started driving, didn't know where she was going, would get lost. and then would start wandering around and then forgetting us, and it just declined super fast. So she ended up having to go into a nursing home. That was super expensive. She had about 2 to 3 homes. My cousin had to sell those homes immediately to pay for this service. And she was in and out of she was in between the rehab center and the nursing home because of her health issues. And so every time she went into the rehab center and came back to the nursing home, she was in a different room. Okay. She was fortunate enough to where, because of the liquidation of the homes, we were able to make sure she had a room to herself in the nursing home, but that was not the case in the rehab center. And honestly, she transitioned just in time because she used all that money. The decline happened over maybe 3 months, 4 months. So imagine if you need care for years. Okay. So long-term care is extremely important. And only 2.27% of the people have long-term care insurance. Only 2.2% of people have this protection. So if you can look at your lineage and you can see, oh yeah, put some 7s in the chat if you've seen that happen, to where, somebody needed help, they needed nursing home care, they wanted to stay in their home but didn't have the means, and had this kind of difficult transition of figuring out how to pay for everything. So a lot of people think that you don't need long-term care until you're 60, 65. So it is true that 70% of 65-year-olds and above actually use long-term care, but 37% of people younger than 65 also use long-term care. Okay. But yeah, 37% of people younger than 65 actually use long-term care. For example, if you get into an accident and you can't walk, you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. I had a client who was shot in the back, came out her neck. She could not walk by herself. She could not bathe by herself. She was 17. Fortunately, she was surrounded by family who were willing to help her, literally carry her to the bathroom and help her bathe, help her use the bathroom. So if you're somebody who isn't surrounded by family, say you did your own thing and your family lives in a different area, you may need to consider long-term care, because if something happens, that cost of making sure you can go to the bathroom when you need to, of making sure you can bathe how you need to clean your wounds, whatever it is. If you have unexpected health issues, I have a cousin who's the same age as me, 30, 31, who we just found out she has some sort of cancerous in her liver. Fortunately, she's still able to do the 6 daily activities, but you just never know. So that's, again, what I mean by protection. I have long-term care. I got long-term care in 2017 when I was 27. Okay, next one, I got it with my IUL policy, which I'm going to talk about now. So Indexed Universal Life. So, and actually I will go more into detail because I have more slides that express this, but it's a life insurance policy where you pay a premium amount into it and you have a certain amount of death benefit. So my premium has ranged anywhere from $100 to $200 for about $100,000 death benefit. That means when I die, my beneficiaries get that benefit. The thing with the IUL, it also has a living benefit, a cash value. So I put my money in there because it's an index policy. It actually gains dividends based on the index. And not only that, it protects your money from being taxed. It's like a shell. It's like a shelter, a way to shelter your money. So I'll go into that and then in the next few slides. Okay, so that's your foundation. That's your protection. Next, retirement. So again, identify your monthly income, your fixed income. What are you going to be paying until you transition? So property tax, food, water, utilities, all those things. That's fixed income. You need to be aware of that so you can plan how much money you need from after you retire to when you transition. So a lot of people, a lot of elders now are receiving Social Security benefits. That may or may not be available for our generation by the time we retire. A lot of people have a pension, so 401k, 103B plan from their job. Some people establish a personal pension known as an annuity where you pay a premium in, and by the time you reach like, I think it's 65 and a half, 69, by the time you reach a certain age, then they start distributing that to you. And that can also be based on the index as well. It can also be a variable annuity where you could lose your money, but you could have more gain. So I'll go into how both of these are taxed in the next slide, but this is your retirement plan. Making sure you have a lifetime income. That's what Social Security benefits is supposed to be. That's what a pension is supposed to be, to make sure you have lifetime income to pay for these fixed expenses. Okay. Oh, no, I need to do this one. Okay, so the last one, the tip of the pyramid, lifestyle. That's your investing, okay? So mutual funds, which a mutual fund, for those of you who don't know, is just basically a group of stocks together managed by somebody who manages mutual funds. So I have a couple mutual funds now, and it's basically one of those things where you can just put your money in. I put $50 per mutual fund, and you put your money in, and the manager invests it in ways that will be beneficial to me. So I don't have to do anything. I can just put the money in and forget it. And I've put about $3,000 now in that account. In total, there's about $7,000. So they're investing it, or a little bit more. They're investing it really well for me. But you can identify, the level of risk for the mutual fund you want. As we all know, more risk, more gain. Next, stock, all the currency trading. This is more of a lifestyle investment. We say that because it has higher risk, but you have more options for gain, right? So most people will start here and then work their way down. There's no judgment because usually that comes from a place of just not being aware of this. So if that's where you're at, then that's okay. At least now you have the knowledge and the intention to go back and establish this protection, to recognize that as you get gains here, which you are, go back and go ahead and withdraw and put some of that money in establish an IUL and long-term care policy. And I'll go into how that will even protect your money from being taxed, because all of this is taxed annually as ordinary income, or if you're holding a cryptocurrency you haven't withdrawn yet, that's taxed as property tax. When you withdraw, it's taxed as income tax, okay? If you put it from here to here, I think you'll get an income tax once, but it won't be an annual income tax like if you kept it in your savings account. So I'll go into that later.